WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Is there anything better than to be able to go to a beach on October 28th in these airports? That's what we did, Dan, until driven away by the black flies of brigantine.
Were you like sunbathing and everything?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, you know, Ro, of course.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you go swimming?
No. The water temperature was only 60,
Ooh.
which I think was fine by me to
No,
say
thank
that
you.
I did it. But nope, the flies again, though. Now, I know brigantine has gotten rid of the green-headed fly. They made mighty efforts. It used to be local lore that you don't go there because I think it was the breeze. The breeze goes one way, doesn't come from the ocean. And even in the middle of October, you think they would be gone. Don't they migrate? Where do all those vicious flies go?
And something with the inlet, how the inlet's set up, and
Yeah.
that's why they migrated over there. And
Oh, God. I don't know if it was happening in other shore points. So Roe has said no more going to brigantine.
oh,
Because I'm not a fan of going to Atlantic City.
you know what I like about brigantine is the ability to drive up on the beach. I think that's something more beach towns should allow.
Well, I'm a little bit afraid of maniacs. Now that you
Yeah.
mention it, driving into us, I wanted to put up flags and all where we were. But of course, Andres is in brigantine too,
Ooh, you got
so
some
that
baked
meant
ziti,
the
huh?
baked ziti.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Terrible. Why? Why?
actually
Why do you
had-
let this happen, Ro?
I actually had it for lunch the next day. Some was left. That's how much they give you.
Is Ro supportive of this?
Oh, yeah. She has a dish there too. They don't even
But
come in.
she makes it for you at home. I feel that's insulting to your wife.
She can't match it. She would admit to it. All right. So it looks that Israel, if not a full-fledged invasion into Gaza, is pretty much there. We're actually seeing them go in, tanks, etc. And I don't know if they waited to cover of darkness for a particular reason. They're lighting up flares in the skyline to illuminate where they're going after. So we are into the middle of it. And we're going to be voting on aid from Israel. Now, all this weekend, they didn't go after Mike Johnson as much as being an election denier, as much as they went after him for being a full-fledged Christian.
Oh, no.
An actual Christian, not like a Joe Biden Catholic. You know, not one of those Christians.
What a heathen.
He's a bad Christian. And they actually, the Atlantic, this is comedy gold. They wrote a long piece on Twitter. They're going nuts. The Atlantic magazine. I have it here. Is it I got to get it right here. The Atlantic magazine went after him on the Confederacy. And the Atlantic says that Mike Johnson's, in 1867, Mike Johnson's great grandfather, a Confederate soldier,
Oh, no.
pledged not to engage in rebellion again. And they go on to say something Mike Johnson has not pledged yet to do.
Are you serious?
Yes, they went back to 1867.
How many generations is that?
It's the three greats and grandfather. If you
Oh,
were back
man.
there, you go back 3 generations, then get to the grandfather of that.
Well, my
Not even the father.
great uncle is P.T. Barnum. I hope they don't look into his history.
It is that the case?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Well, and the Giordano side, on one side and my mom's side, there was a General Burgoyne who lost to the British. The British
Ooh.
general who lost. And
Now, is
in
that
the
something you
Revolutionary
readily
War.
admit, though, if he lost?
Well, he lost, so we won.
That's what truly matters.
If he
right?
had won, then there would be more problems. Yes. So everybody has one. We have to do that someday of who is in your family that's a skeleton or is a good thing way back. I don't know how we would certify what people would make up. P.T. Barnum with Dan, though.
Yeah,
That's
such
pretty
a
good.
clown.
So now we know that the great grandfather of Mike Johnson was a Confederate. And the insurrection stuff is in the news today with Trump trying to take away the right in Minnesota and Colorado of people to vote for Trump because of an insurrection clause. Now, you know that Trump has never been charged with insurrection. Don't you have to at least charge insurrection before you can be taking away people running for president on some kind of insurrection charge? 855-839-1210. You'll get on board. But the thing they really went after Mike Johnson on this week was this weekend. Because he did say, I think with Maria Bartiromo, they're going to be sending up, in fact, I have the sound of it, they're going to be sending up a bill that will be strictly for Israel, bifurcated, no Ukraine in this. Here's the thing, and I don't have the sound of it, but I have it in print. Johnson said several times, even with the money for Israel. Now, I love this about Johnson. Whether it happens or not, the mentality. They are going to get, if we're going to give Israel $14 billion, we need $14 billion in cuts. We haven't even got to the Ukraine nonsense. For Israel, $14 billion, you want $14 billion, then we need to see $14 billion in cuts. Okay? That mentality is star quality. That's exactly what we need to hear. This may be cut. Oh, well, he might be saying that. Yeah, let's play cut 9A. Here
So what is
he's talking about a standing alone spending bill. I'm not sure if he says we need cuts too in this. Here's what he said.
your response, and have you spoken to the president about his request to tie the money together between Israel and Ukraine?
Well, listen, we're going to move a standalone Israel funding bill this week in the House. I know our colleagues, our Republican colleagues in the Senate have a similar measure. We believe that that is a pressing and urgent need. There are lots of things going on around the world that we have to address, and we will. But right now, what's happening in Israel takes the immediate attention, and I think we've got to separate that and get it through. I believe there'll be bipartisan support for that, and I'm going to push very hard for it.
Do you believe there'll be bipartisan support in the Senate? Will it pass muster there?
I think it will. My intention is not to use this for any partisan political gamesmanship. This is a very serious matter. And we heard reports, firsthand reports last night at that event. They were telling us the terrible things that are happening there, the atrocities there. I can't even repeat to you on television some of the things that they told us firsthand that they've seen in Israel at the hands of Hamas and their accomplices. And so we've got to address this now. We should not waste any more time, and I think we'll get it through the House this week.
All right, so bifurcated, no Ukraine. This puts them at loggerheads, of course, with Mitch McConnell, which is good. Let's get it on with Mitch McConnell, who doesn't represent anybody other than in Kentucky, where he throws money there, and they're still going to vote for him. So with Mike Johnson, as I said, he did say, we're going to be looking for $14 billion in cuts if we're going to give this money to Israel. That's Israel, let alone Ukraine. They want, what, $78 billion? Where are we going to find those cuts? But that's exactly the approach, and that's one of the reasons they already hate this guy. Here is, though, of course, Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki on MSNBC talking about he's a scary guy. Mike Johnson, see, they don't like it. He's amicable. He doesn't look like a guy that's getting, coming over the top rope, let's face it, like Jim Jordan does, just ready for action. Johnson, is amicable, and that makes him scary.
Before we get into this clip, I just got a question. His glasses that he wears, are those stereotypically liberal glasses, or is there something to them?
Yeah, I think there is.
Is there? Okay. Because in this clip at some point, Jen Psaki makes a remark about them, like, oh, he has the glasses in the suit. Like, it's like some kind of appeal to...
He does dress well, too. He seems to stay inside of one suit type. But he does look good.
I guess he has like the Rachel Maddow / Chris Hayes style lenses, right?
Not quite that. Nothing's like Chris Hayes, but they are kind of owlish. I may have to change lenses. It'll be a rage.
You should go for that, Dom. You look good with it.
Okay. Yeah, I might give that a shot. I like his hair. The guy's,
style.
I got to see that hair up close. He's got great hair. But here's Mike Johnson now. Be scared of him. He's actually a Christian.
So let's take a few minutes to talk about this new speaker. First glance, Mike Johnson does seem fine-ish. Conservative, yes, but he once started a civility caucus with a Democrat. And I mean, if nothing else, he wears a suit and has glasses. How threatening can this guy actually be? Well, he gave us all a little clue as to how he would govern in an interview this week.
I am a Bible-believing Christian. Someone asked me today in the media, they said, it's curious. People are curious. What does Mike Johnson think about any issue under the sun? I said, well, go pick up a Bible off your shelf and read it. That's my worldview.
Uh-oh.
You heard that right. The Bible doesn't just inform his worldview, it is his worldview. In fact, during his first speech in his new job, Johnson suggested that his election as Speaker was an act of God. Talk about a bit of a humble brag there. So, what exactly has God apparently called on Mike Johnson to do? Well, his views on policy are essentially what you'd expect from a religious fundamentalist. They're more divisive than they are divine.
More divisive than they are divine. She's just coining them. She's rolling them out one after another. Here we go again with that scary. But Biden's devoutness, devout Catholic, that's not scary because he's for abortion up and down the line. So there's nothing scary there. I thought they would spend more time on the alleged election denier, trying to throw the election and all that. No, they're going with the Christian thing for this week. We'll see how the page turns, but I don't think this guy could be off to a better start. And the Ukraine situation, that money coming up, I feel more confident now. They're going to separate it. They might give them some. There might be an appetite for that, but they're not getting $78 billion and all this money rolled into along with the Israeli money. Not happening. All right, I'm looking at something that is started up, and it speaks ill of where we are here in the Delaware Valley, Dan. 100 plus colleges and universities across the nation, that's 100 plus, have formed a coalition. And the only thing you have to say to be part of this, they've issued a statement: we stand with Israel against Hamas. We stand with Israel against Hamas. That's what the premise is to be part of this. So I went through this. I guess St. Joe's doesn't stand with Israel against Hamas. Villanova!
Oh.
How about them Wildcats?
Oh, come on.
Temple. Well, University of Pennsylvania, and of course, LaSalle, Drexel, the Big Six, the Big Zero. In fact, I don't see any. And I'm going to scan, I'm on their website. I'm going to scan and see sometime during the show, where is the nearest college or university that stands with Israel against Hamas after what we've seen? Why were 100 plus colleges and universities able to do that? Nobody in the Ivy League, though. Not one in the Ivy League signed off. Not one. So that's where we are at this point. Now, it's only going to get worse. They'll start to ratchet up the idea. Oh, look at what Israel is doing in Gaza. I told you at the top that Israel has moved in the last hour or two more authoritatively into Gaza. I don't think it's a full scale, all their troops, but it is more than just a probe. They are on the march, tanks, etc. They're illuminating the sky to hit where Hamas is, and they are moving forward. The other side's not going to relent on this. They're telling you what they want. They do stand with Hamas. All right, 855-839-1210.
Sunni and Cooney both signed on to this letter. They're actually coalition founders of the letter. That's State University of New York and City University of New York, but those are the two closest.
I'm shocked with City University of New York because that is a rabbit left place usually. They're the closest, you think? I don't see anything too much.
Names now.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any that I recognize as closer. Right?
Yeah, I don't see anybody close here. So, well, we didn't know about it. Everybody in the college world knew about it. You know about it. Everybody knows about it. Are you going to sign off? We stand with Israel against Hamas. How much easier could it be? So 855-839-1210.
St. Joe's University of New York is on
Yes, that's St. Joe's. Who would be the last in our area? You would think Penn, but they're under pressure from the donors. Which one would be the last to sign off and say, no, we're not going to do it no matter what you do to us? St. Joe's might be the last. That tells you something about, well, Temple. I can't see that happening either.
What, on this letter?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Penn.
No, the donors, though.
You
I think
so?
the donors are going to get the sniff of this, and they're going to go, sign off on this.
Yeah.
that woman will crumple over there. Yeah, I think you'll see that.
Looks like a good amount of the New York University. So like State University, New York,
Yes.
Canton, Binghamton, they all signed on it as well.
Yeah.
Nassau Community College.
What's so hard to sign off on this? Let's see. Each day I'll remind you, I'm keeping this one, and we'll see who signs off on it. Now, we had the passing of Matthew Perry over the weekend. What I heard in news reports, much more problems with addiction than I had ever heard. You know, I took it as a typical Hollywood thing. I mean, severe addiction over the course of the years. Whether it's a heart attack and or other circumstances involved with the hot tub, who knows? Only 54. But this show, Friends.
Oh, come on.
I told you, Dan,
it's such a good show.
It's so bad with me when I tune in to Channel 17 because that's where the 10 o'clock news is that I watch from Channel 6. If there's 90 seconds, I just flip back.
Where does this come from?
I just despise David Schwimmer. That starts it.
But did you miss the boat when it was popular?
Yes,
or,
yes.
Like when it was popular, was just the coverage so annoying with Rachel's haircut that you just wanted to tune out of everything?
I don't even know about the haircut. That's how much it just bothered me for some reason. It was just, I don't know if I thought it was a knockoff of Seinfeld or something.
You love Jim and Pam's development of their relationship in the
absolutely,
office. I think Ross and Rachel is a better sitcom relationship development.
You can't beat that. Oh, Pam Beasley would strike you down. So we're looking for today something that you never acquired the taste for. It doesn't have to be TV show, film, something that was popular, but you just still haven't developed anything for it. Could be a food. It could be something. We'll make it as broad as possible here, Dan.
It's sometimes called being a hipster, you know, when something's so popular, you got to take the counter argument just because it's so popular. Maybe that's why you dislike something, or maybe you just can't get into it. You tried getting into it, but
I didn't try that much even on this one.
No, but so you admit to being a hipster about Friends?
Yes. Maybe it's a point of honor.
With the coverage.
Oh, I think I have 90% of the audience with me. You're going to see.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
You misjudged on this one. So I'm going to take off Lord of the Rings, all those fantasy films of one sort or another. And I think today is the day, or yesterday was, National Candy Corn Day.
Oh.
I never had a candy corn. I'm not going to have a candy corn. Oh, my God. It's just horrible to think about that as a food.
Game of Thrones, too, right? Fantasy.
Yes.
Yes, Bill loved that. Former producer Bill, he was obsessed. So many people, they would have parties for it. I tried watching, I just couldn't get
better
into
than
it.
Lord of the Rings.
I don't know why I just can't. I'm with you. I can't do stuff with dragons and fantasy and swords.
It was
and
better
rings
though.
I also can't do. This might sound like a uneducated freak, but I've never been able to get into Shakespeare. And I talk about it often.
Yes.
The guy is supposedly one of the best writers of all time, but his words are so covered in muck, and it's so hard to decipher what he's trying to say. And yes, I understand that his themes led to so much of what we see in pop culture today, but he could have written his things better, in my opinion.
Oh my God! All right, so you know what? When you call in on the side question, you know how still a few people call in and say aloha. We started that tradition because it was a bad. You might want to hit Dan with a brief Shakespearean verse, like a sentence or two.
Sure.
Just to throw that back at.
And I want to take the easy meat off the board if I can.
Yes.
Got to take Bruce off. Come on. He's so damn popular in this New Jersey, Philadelphia region.
I almost forgot about that one. That's right. Yes.
I guess I missed the boat of the nostalgia, but he's redundant. His songwriting's good, but his voice is grating. And sitting for 5 hours to listen to the same songs over and over again, I just don't know how people do it.
All right, 855-839. He went overtime the other night because he's on the comeback with that peptic ulcer. And overtime for him could mean 5 or 6 hours. Oh, man. Does he have enough material? Does he start repeating? All right, 855-839-1210. That's the side question. Remember, if you know a line from Shakespeare, feel free to just open with that to rub it in with Dan. And you have to say, when it comes to anti-Semites, the Russians, a plane lands and they hear the plane from Tel Aviv. They thought some Jewish people were there. They storm the airport by the thousands to get at them. It's just amazing what we're seeing play out. Just amazing. All right, 855-839-1210. How you feeling about Mike Johnson? It's almost 100% at this point. Although there's that problem, his great-great-great-grandfather was a Confederate soldier. Insurrection, 1867. Took the pledge. No more insurrection. All right, get in with Dom here on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
America's always been sympathetic to the fact that you can separate civilians from terrorists. And that's what we have to do.
If they don't want to take the Palestinian refugees from the Gaza area, why should the United States? If you're not wanted in your own region of the world, why should we be the Motel 6 for everybody that's not accepted?
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Are you concerned about your child struggling in school? Do they need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. After Halloween this year, don't throw out your jack-o'-lantern. Use it to start composting instead. Pumpkins and other gourds are perfect additions to any compost pile. You can also add soil and roots from dead potted plants. And if you have a garden, be sure to add garden waste from cleaning and pruning, like stems, roots, and leaves. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. 855-839-1210. Side question today. Something you never acquired the taste for. This coming off Friends in the news. You can hit us with anything in any realm. And Dan, as predicted, Head of Lettuce goes after you about Shakespeare, the classic line that he has up there.
She.
Oh, it's she.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought it was a he.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm almost positive. It's a
okay.
she.
And the line?
It says, the first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers. Yeah, I'm proud of you, Head of Lettuce. You found like the one of 3 lines in all of Shakespeare's work that actually do make sense. I can up you with 20 for the one that you can understand.
Oh, my God. It's in a different language.
That sir which serves to seek and for gain and follows but for form will pack when it begins to rain and leave thee in the storm. But I will tarry, the fool will stay, and let the wise man fly. The knave turns fool that runs away. The fool no knave purdy. Dom, what did I just say?
Basically an insight from Shakespeare about yeah.
No, my point
I
is
have to that language I have to read in front of me to get the twist.
It's just all
yes.
muck. It's so mucked down.
No, that's just oh God. All right. Methinks he doth protest too much. 855-839-1210. You get on board right now. You can jump in. Dan, just in the throes of going through house hunting, then purchasing, should have gotten Joe Biden and Hunter Biden to help him. Biden sold his house that he got when he first came into the Senate somehow or another. He was only making $42,000 a year then. He sold it for $1.2 million in 1996. After nearly 3 decades later, it's still only worth $1.65 million. So the point is, the person who bought it from him, credit card company money. In other words, was this just an example of what he's been doing all along? How is it you can have a home for $1.2 million in 1996? Nothing happened to it, nothing. and it's still only worth $1.65 million today in Delaware. You know, a $1.2 million home in 1996 got to be $3 or $4 million now.
Maybe they just had like really bad renters.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Poking holes in the walls.
Can you imagine the testimony? Right.
$1.8 million house.
And Joe and Hunter did get paid by the credit card companies over the course of time. He's Mr. Credit Card, even though he says he's for the little guy. They're headquartered in Delaware. This just came out, the Daily Mail with it. How do you get a house you sold for $1.2 million? I'm looking to see what he bought it for. Sold it for $1.2 million.
A $42,000 salary.
Yes, $42,500 salary. It was $185,000.
Oh, that's appreciation, man.
In 1974. Yeah,
it's like 2022 to 2023 kind of numbers we're seeing there.
But I mean, seeing this is just an example of what he's been doing in plain sight all along. The best example, I forget, I don't have the exact number. When the bank says, hey, this looks like a suspect transaction, that's rare that they throw that red flag into the ring. And they've done it hundreds of times with his stuff and Hunter Biden's. All right, as I said, Israel now moving in to Gaza more firmly. So the next 24, 48 hours are going to be very, very intense. And the pro-Hamas side is not giving up at all. Cornell University.
Just while we're on that, Dom,
yes.
We'll have Scott Perry today at 2:30.
Perfect.
To talk on that.
All right. We'll ask him about that. We'll ask him about Mike Livingston. We haven't had a chance to break down why he voted for him. Mike Johnson. Why am I saying Livingston? What? Was he a speaker at one point? Wasn't Mike.
Ron Livingston's an actor.
No, there was a Livingston, I think, who dropped out around the time of Bill Clinton. First, Newt Gingrich did.
Former AFL quarterback for the
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
No, I think I look it up. I think he was speaker after Newt Gingrich, and they both dropped out, and Bill Clinton still was there. Cornell University has told Jews to stay away from the kosher dining hall at Cornell after vicious threats online wanting to come there and kill Jews. Now, you could say, well, how do they know? Well, the police and FBI believe these are legit. They've moved into the Cornell campus, again, another Ivy League school. And you have people now having to hire private security cameras, et cetera, at a kosher dining hall. I've done a kosher event over the years. It was really interesting. We did it over in Elkins Park with listeners, Dan, and food was the same to me, at least what I was eating. So, it's the type of thing, though, that's a natural draw for these killers that are out there. And they are not relenting. They're not backing off and saying more details have come off about Hamas. I'm not even going to say what they did to one baby. It's beyond belief.
Did you have matzo ball soup?
No, it wasn't. I don't know that's kosher.
I love matzo ball. I think it's kosher. It's not.
There's a whole set of rigorous, one was the strict room and the other room was the unstrict room that I was in. So, by the way, Gavin Newsom goes to China. And if you've seen it, Dan, you've seen it by now, right?
No, I haven't. I haven't looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up right
Maybe
now.
wait till after the show, because if you see it once, you're going to watch this again and again and again. So he's playing a bunch of Chinese kids that look to be maybe 10 or 11. I'm not sure. Somewhere around there.
YouTube.com/@12WPH.
Okay.
I'm going to try to get it up on the stream there.
And I got to say, he's about 6'4" when I had him in studio. And he's showing off.
Is he really?
Yeah. 6'3.5", 6'4". He's got a pretty good spin move, but he's playing with shoes on and everything else.
6'3", yeah.
Yeah, so he spins on the one kid in order to get a shot. He's playing 10 and 11-year-olds. I don't know why he's doing spin moves. And then he does a full-fledged spin move, out of control kind of, and runs over top of this Chinese kids, almost knocks him out. And the kid had established position. I call a charge on Gavin Newsom. And that should keep him out of presidential politics. What a bad photo op. Man.
YouTube.com/@12WPHD. Go like and subscribe. Dom and I are always dining with Dom from noon until 1. I'm going to play a video on that stream right now.
Yeah, and when you watch it once,
First time I'm watching
you can't get enough of it. Particularly when he's standing there with the ball in the beginning.
He just tackled the kid.
Yeah, standing there with the ball in the beginning. And he looks okay to me, like he's got some game. But when he runs over top of this kid,
to like commentate.
yes, and he's probably commenting, I expect to shoot some foul shots here. No, it was a charge. I would have called that a charge without a doubt. All right, coming up.
I can't stop watching you. You're so right.
Yeah. Dude, thanks to the Freedom from Information Act and other things like that, we're going to talk next with people who really, really monitor the Pennsylvania Family Institute, their leader. How much have we already spent on so-called gender-affirming surgery and or God knows what? Just in Pennsylvania. And this was under Wolf with Rachel Levine, so it figures, right? Well, apparently it's continuing under Josh Shapiro. How could the state be involved with spending this money? He'll lay it out next year. Hey, first, though, score early this NFL season with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. I think that's 30-1. You can make your own bets or choose from tons of pre-made bets that are on the app. Either way, you don't have to be a football expert. That's the bottom line. You can get into the game more tonight, Monday Night Football. You could do it with that. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, you've heard me talk about it. Now's better time. You can't find them right now. Easy to use. You get your winnings fast. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Lots of clouds throughout the entire region for this Monday. Temperatures today climbing up into the low 70s across the city. We could see a few passing showers for the rest of this Monday, mainly north and west of the city, and a few sprinkles are possible this afternoon along the I-95 corridor. Tonight, it's going to be a chilly one with a low near 43. A few showers possible, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Heading into Tuesday, dry weather to start the day with partly sunny skies, a high of 54 degrees tomorrow. Dry weather for trick-or-treating across the city. At the coast, a few showers are possible. Wednesday, it is going to be rather dry and sunny for the afternoon with a high near 51. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Marvin Gomez.
Consumer Cellular offers unlimited talk and text on every plan starting at $20 per month. Stay connected in rain, sleet, and snow with their premium nationwide 5G coverage with no contract and free activation. Visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify and receive your free tax assessment by dialing 800-210-1005. If you or your business owe back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-1005. 800-210-1005. That's 800-210-1005.
40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds. Just say it with me. 40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get you and your body into the fat burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You are fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. They're with you every step of the way. Absolutely no shots, no hormones, no surgery. surgery. Locations close by in King of Prussia, Newark, Delaware, and Cherry Hill. 855-5NJ-DIET. Or from home with live online video consultations. NJDiet.com. 40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed. NJDiet.com.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly rated hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Tom Giordano Show. Always a good time to get on the Pennsylvania Family Institute. We have in the on deck circle Mike Geer. Michael Geer is the founding president and CEO of the Pennsylvania Family Institute. And they, through diligence and the Freedom of Information Act, have unveiled how much Pennsylvania has spent on so-called transgendered care for minors up until now. One state. Does it continue at this level with Josh Shapiro? We'll find out. Let's go to Michael Geer on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Tom, glad to be on.
Well, give us the number and tell us what that entails and maybe the length of time, Michael, these millions.
Well, the numbers that we have uncovered through the right to know request that we filed with the Department of Health here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania indicates that starting in 2015, when the state spending in the CHIP program actually started on this so-called transgender therapy, the drugs and the surgeries on minors, the totaling up through 2022 is more than $19.8 million, and it continues at the tune of about $14,000 per day of taxpayer money on these activities into 2022, taking it well over $20 million, an 8,000% increase since 2015.
And what does that entail when we talk about transgendered care? What are they doing?
Well, there's a variety of different things. And again, this is on minors that we're talking about here. There's also spending, that goes on for those over 18, but we're talking about children, sometimes as young as teens, in terms of the surgeries, double mastectomies done on healthy teenage girls, or in the case of males, who say that through some counselors or what they're watching online or whatever through TikTok and things, decide that they want to change their sex or their gender. Surgery, they call it top surgery, bottom surgery in terms of those sorts of things. But in addition to that, and even at younger ages, puberty blockers, drugs that are used to sterilize adults, in situations where you have a sex offender and they give this Lupron drug. Lupron is called a drug that's to sterilize. In this case, they use it off-label, FDA, at hospitals in Pennsylvania and even Planned Parenthood clinics. Puberty blockers to stop puberty, and then they also administer cross-sex hormones to girls. They'll give testosterone, to boys they'll give estrogen and other things, all of which have very significant health effects. So we talk about the permanent disfiguring with the surgery that takes place, again, being done on minors whose brains have not fully developed or anything else. We don't let them get tattoos or even get Tylenol without parental permission, but we have this kind of stuff going on here in Pennsylvania with minors.
Chris Christie, though, says, of all people, Michael, we shouldn't be passing laws against this, because if the parents want to do it, then they ought to be able to do that. And I think you made mention of parental authority over this, but also we don't let parents say the kid can get drunk if we as a parent deem that.
No, that's right. I think Chris Christie's wrong about this, and most people in the polls that we've seen and the states that are passing laws to prevent this, again, recognize the permanent nature of this. Those who go through these surgeries, these treatments or whatever, suffer very significant impacts on their lives. For example, puberty blockers affect bone growth and density and cause sexual dysfunction, voice damage, infertility, among other issues. So then we have the situation with the cross-sex hormones also impacting, infertility, can cause deadly blood clots, heart attacks, increased cancer risks in the breasts and ovaries, liver dysfunction, worsening psychological illness, and other conditions. In Europe, in England, they've done studies on this in terms of these surgeries, these impositions of these drugs. And, famously, they've said, we're going to stop it. There's a place called the Tavistock Clinic that has said, no more of this, because they realize, number one, the long-term harm that's coming from it. Number two, the inability for young people, minors, to make permanently life-altering decisions. And we have situations even where parents are sort of driving the kids to this. And we have a new phenomenon in society now, people called detransitioners, Chloe Cole notable among them. There are many others as well who made these choices based on social media pressure, or some counselor, a high school counselor, or Planned Parenthood, or others telling them, oh, you'll be happy if you change your sex, if you get these surgeries. And these hospitals like Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and others are very happy to encourage this because of the amount of money that is being made, billions of dollars nationally each year now in this gender transition.
Do you have a
stuff.
sense, Michael, because I am, and I'm in agreement with you about Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, but
yeah.
I used to be historically the hugest fan of it. I thought it was the best children's hospital in the world. So my point is, it's not some knockoff defunct little operation out there. These are the most prestigious hospitals engaging in this. And it seems to be, there might be an advocate or two radical inside there, and the others are persuaded by the amount of money it brings in.
Yeah, it's a combination of those. I mean, there was a Vanderbilt hospital administrator down in Tennessee who was caught online, or basically revealed online on video, talking about the amount of money that they can make. $40,000, for example, the breast surgery that they would do on a healthy teenage girl to remove her healthy breasts. $40,000 plus. They talk specifically about the amount of money that can be made. So there's an ideological bent behind it, no question about that. But there's also money to be made, and we think about following the money. And it's not just Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. We also have it at Hershey, the Children's Hospital in Hershey, Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh doing it, and then Planned Parenthood is in on this game as well. The Planned Parenthood clinics in Pennsylvania dispense these drugs to minors and making it available as well. And there's money involved, no question about it.
So the solution, in the view of you and the Institute there, is it we need to elect a different governor, or people in the legislature have to do what?
Well, a number of different things. Number one, the political side of it is very important. And, a number of states, it's now 20 states have passed laws that are called Help Not Harm, to prevent this kind of thing being done to minors. Pennsylvania is not among them. Part of that is because of who is sitting in the elected office and who's sitting in the governor's seat. So people need to work on that. But the other part of it is just looking in ways to protect your own children, becoming educated about this sort of things. Chloe Cole, the detransitioner that I mentioned previously, she says that social media was very much instrumental in making her make a decision to go on these drugs and to get double mastectomy, suffering many serious side effects as a result of that decision. So parents need to be watching that. And then, again, who we elect into these offices, including in the governor's seat, make a big difference. And people need to be educated and then ask their elected officials, why do you support letting teens and younger do these sorts of things to their body that have permanent and irreversible implications?
Michael, what's the website for the Pennsylvania Family Institute?
Yeah, people can read about this report on our website at pafamily.org, and we'd be happy to hear comments from folks who want to know more from us. It's pafamily.org.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks very much. And this is a dogged amount of work here. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
All right. That is the founding president and CEO of the Pennsylvania Family Institute. A lot of money and some activists inside each one of these places. And that $20 million plus, and the tail is still going. Why is it so hard to get at that money as far as seeing it publicly? Stand behind it. I think Josh Shapiro might, then he would lecture you, and he's protecting reproductive rights somehow or another out of this. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get in. Yes, Dan.
I just want to make a quick announcement. YouTube.com/@12WPHT, Dining with Dom. We've developed a nice community of listeners that join us in the chat. And please, we would love for you as a listener to join that community. So YouTube.com/@12WPHT. Go like and subscribe. Just found out, Dom, that Robert Schwartz in there, he found out that he wants to announce the birth of his newest great nephew, Ace, born just an hour ago. Precious humans we must fight for. So congratulations, Robert, and your newest family member.
Interesting name, too. That kid's going to go where? Somewhere. Ace.
I love it.
Ace Borowski coming up to bat.
It's a great name.
All right, 855-839-1210.
To take some cues there.
Yeah, you can't steal that. It's like George Costanza's soda. 7. All right, 855-839-1210. Ace Borowski, yes.
it.
Sounds like a fighter pilot. All right, you can get on board right now. Get in on that side question, too. Imagine that amount of money already as this continues. Hey, let's talk about a visionary. That would be Roy over at Batteries Plus Bulbs. He opened up the first Batteries Plus location in the state area in Mount Laurel 17 years ago. Now, he had always done things where customer service was the king. He is incredible about that, friendly but fanatical when it comes to that for he and his trusted advisors. But he also recognized 17 years ago, we're going to see this surge of all these electronic technology, custom battery packs. People want smartphone repairs, game console repairs, businesses with things that would help them to cut costs. And that's what they're about. You reach them at 856-638-0778. There is a tremendous culture there. I've talked about listeners that have sent me emails or text or something telling me about Roy and that experience they had. They don't want to feel like a dope when they go into something where there's technology, and they don't do that. They are incredible at coming up with great solutions to problems, be it an individual or a business, and they carry an extensive inventory of batteries and lighting products to solve just about any problem. A lot of deals they have going on. You can stop in. They're in Mount Laurel on Route 73, or they're on Tilton Road in Northfield, and you reach them at 856-638-0778.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
This Gen Z girl went to TikTok to complain about having a 9-to-5 job.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying.
Yes.
But this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person.
What have you done to your daughter?
Hey, yeah. And these Gen Zers, every third word out of their mouth is the word like. I want to just hit them over the head with a frying pan. Like, stop using the word like.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
You're invited to witness a groundbreaking documentary, America's Retirement Dilemma, a documentary of Wall Street's rigged system. Featuring powerful exclusive interviews such as the president and CEO of the leading analytics firm over Wall Street, Del Bar Incorporated, Lou Harvey, who explains why Wall Street is not set up to have a fiduciary duty to the everyday investor.
Wall Street is not set up to handle a fiduciary relationship. Too expensive to replace all of my compensation systems, retrain all of my people. The whole structure that's been built over the last 100 years would have to be turned on end. I would have to be brutally negative. We have an industry that has been built on caveat emptor, buyer beware.
Hear this and more exclusive interviews with powerful industry leaders, esteemed economists, and top researchers at the Spring Mill Manor, November 14th. Registration is required. Call Crash Proof Retirement, 800-722-9728.
Hey guys, it is Nick Cale, and as you know, I have recently leased 2023 Ridgeline from Piazza Honda of Springfield. If you are a truck person like me, now is the time to visit Piazza Honda in Springfield, Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading to take advantage of 0.9% APR or get special finance rates on the Honda Civic, Accord, CR-V, Pilot, and more. The Piazza Auto Group now with 17 brands and 35 locations, my go-to for all things automotive. To find your new or certified pre-owned vehicle, visit today at piazzaautogroup.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Never going back again.
Tom Giordano Show. Good Monday, kicking things off. By the way, at some point this week, we're working behind the scenes, but here's the gist of it. It's another Krasner story, and even for Krasner, though, Chuck Peruto represents a family where the son of the people that are involved, the mom at least, was killed in South Philly in this bar situation. And
no, there was no bars. It was a 16-year-old. He was a football player.
Okay.
He was just shot.
He was just shot. Okay. They're owners of a bar. And in dealing with this, they've tried to get at the accomplices. Carlos Vega, the guy that ran against Krasner the last time, okay? Carlos Vega, it was his last case, and they did get and convict, I believe, the murderer. But it's a question of the accomplices still running free, and the family wants that brought to light. So the father apparently confronts in a public spot one of the relatives of one of the accomplices.
I think it might have been one of the accomplices himself.
Oh,
He's
okay.
just
Well,
out on the
even
streets
better.
working
Right.
as a cashier, yeah.
And we don't know all that was said and not and all that, but it's the media not reporting on it yet. But our information is they go and arrest the father at 6 a.m. rather than just letting him surrender or something of that nature for whatever the complaint is. Now, this is Krasner at his worst. It just smacks of retaliation on the part of Krasner because these people are concerned that the accomplices in this killing are still out there. So we'll bring you that when it's ripe, when it's set up with Chuck Peruto and a family member.
The mother has a lot to say, Don.
Yeah.
She's furious because now for 6 years this has been going on, and she claims that she's been allegedly harassed by Krasner.
Okay.
So
well, the husband bringing him in at 6 a.m. It's like no call for this.
That's one of many things that have happened over these past 6 years that just go
Mhm.
back and forth. And this family's been very vocally against Krasner, social media and all. And it seems that Krasner, he did wrong here in the first place by, letting the accomplices go willy-nilly. But then on top of that, he's just continuing to go after this family.
Yeah. And again, Peruto, very prominent attorney representing them, also ran against Krasner in a DA's race. So we'll have all. He ran the second time. Vega ran the first time against Krasner. Yeah, that's right. All right, so we'll have all that for you as it develops, but it's unending with this guy. And I don't see. Oh, I know what I want to mention. So it's an interesting list. Philly Mag is still at least in power circles, a big deal, Dan. Over the weekend, I saw on Sunday, they put up their 150 most influential Philadelphians, meaning Philadelphia area, not just in Philadelphia. And I can't quibble with the first one since he is from this area, since he's running for president, whatever he says. And since he's all over the place, that would be Josh Shapiro. They have him as number one.
One?
Yeah.
Number one?
Well, I'm going to say who I think is one in a moment. In second position.
Well, I guess he's a governor.
Well, in second position, they have Sherrell Parker anticipating the mayor's race. Okay. They have Krasner at 14.
Oh.
Now, I could make an argument. I'd be willing to debate anybody. As much influence as Josh Shapiro has, look at 95 in myriad of ways. Krasner is more influential for the following reason. We're dealing with life and death. We're dealing with a stone-cold ideologue whose marching orders are now spreading out into the suburbs. Philadelphia's bleeding into the suburbs. How many times have we talked about that? So I'd say Larry Krasner is the most influential Philadelphian by a nose over Josh. As influential as Josh Shapiro is, it's Krasner. And one of the things I look at, Krasner, Dan, is not afraid to be critical of Josh Shapiro. He has been. Is Josh Shapiro ever critical of Larry Krasner? Doesn't that tell you who has influence?
It's like
Yes.
like the movies, like when the capos can't say anything about the leader.
I know of no one that Larry Krasner is afraid to call out. There's nobody.
I also take issue that his little title under in the article is quote controversy magnet.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
14. They have the
14.
Penn president. I mean, who's she with influence? Come on, Penn's influential. That's not life and death. Larry Krasner will send her off to Siberia if he wants to. Give me a break. Who criticizes Krasner in Philadelphia, essentially? That is on that list, that's in power or whatever, that is vocal about Krasner.
John McNesby, his little title is police protector at 30.
Yeah, at 30. Well, that's the other thing. John McNesby is leaving to head up a state organization. So the FOP is going to have a new president, and I'm talking to people there. We'll see how that turns out. But John McNesby was incredibly pugnacious and fighting spirit, and had the backs of cops. And I might add, cops from 20, 30, 40 years ago. He was a protector of their family, stayed on top of it. I know that for a fact. So he'll be missed. I don't like going with the Josh Shapiro outfit, but his work as FOP president has been tremendous.
So Isaiah Thomas is number 55.
Yes.
Progressive powerhouse, it says. Sherelle Parker's number 2.
Yes.
Alan Dom's like in the 30s, I think.
Yeah.
No, 47. David O doesn't make the list?
Well, look at the Republican. Take a look at the Republican Party. I mean,
But he has some. I mean, his work, especially what he's doing with the arena down in Chinatown, has influence.
They don't care what he says if he's not mayor. If he's mayor, it would. But if he says we're against it, I don't know.
M. Night Shyamalan makes the list, but not David O.
All right.
Come on.
All right, 855-83, and nobody from Talk Radio in there, I might add. That's ridiculous. 855-839-1210.
Hey, while we're on the topic
Yes,
of local
get it.
media,
Yeah,
we're asking today. Sorry, didn't mean to cut
Yeah.
you off. What's a taste you never acquired?
Yes.
Someone says the 6 ABC theme song, and that's
ridiculous.
That's sacrilege. You can't
That's
say
sacrilegious.
that.
How could you not
Czar
acquire?
Train.
That's just being a contrarian, maybe. All right, but didn't acquire the taste. You didn't acquire it. That's the side question. At 1:30 today, we are going to talk with our buddy, Robin Schaefer, what's going on with the whales at the shore. And he's running for school board. And even in Ocean City, some of the things distributed. Pretty hard to believe. And Scott Perry later in the show today on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, this is Norman Chaikin, also known as Norman the Floorman. I just paid $100 for a belt. It doesn't fit. What a huge waste. Calling all developers, investors, house flippers, and savvy shoppers. I'm selling plush carpet at 99 cents per square foot. I haven't sold carpet that cheap since 1969. Visit us online at normancarpet.net or visit our Bryn Mawr or Conshohocken showroom. Call for a free home estimate and, oh yes, 48-hour installation available. That's 800-220-RUGS.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine?
Lease a 2024 BMW i4 for $499 per month. Visit BMWCenters.com today.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always